boys and girls. You are watching Straight White Male. I want to talk about Gina Carano and her being fired from Disney, The Mandalorian, for an abhorrent tweet. I might be a little bit late to the game here, but I like to think things through in depth before I, assume my opinion has any value. But to be honest, I don't really have an opinion on this tweet. Actually, that's not true, but we'll get to that. What I really want from this video is an explanation. I can't for the life of me figure out what was wrong with what she wrote, and no one seems to be offering an explanation. So when I first found out about this, I googled it because I just had to know what she said. This abhorrent tweet. The first few results, actually pretty much all the results, were basically the same thing. They're basically saying Gina Carano fired from Disney for an abhorrent tweet for reprehensible hate speech. Always in quotes, as if the journalists knew that. They knew what they were doing. They knew that kind of claim is subjective, and so the adjective that described her tweet was always in quotes. You could not objectively say Gina Carano's tweet was hate speech, unless you were, unless it was speech that incited violence against a specific group or something like that, which should be the broad definition of hate speech, not what's slung around these days willy-nilly. So with all these results just showing these headlines and all these subjective claims, I had to take the plunge, click on one, and try and find the actual tweet. Quickly found a screenshot of the tweet, read it over, and couldn't for the life of me figure out what the fuck was wrong with it. She had basically, she'd used Nazi Germany as an example of divide and conquer, basically. Explaining that before the Nazis could do what they did, they had to turn everyone against the Jewish people. And it was accompanied by a photo, I think, of a Jewish woman running down the street, clothes torn off. She'd been beaten, she'd been beaten in the street and was running away from a lynch mob, basically. And people were frothing about this. Every single article that I found, this journalism about what had happened. It was technically journalism because it was just reporting on what was happening. Any journalist with half a brain is not going to offer their opinion on the subject, lest they be lynched as well and lose their livelihood. They had quotes from people on Twitter. It's like when you watch the news and it asks people's opinion on a really complex subject, and it's like, this fucking person doesn't know anything about what you're asking them about. Their opinion is benign, pointless. Why is this journalism? But so there was quotes of other tweets, and they said stuff like, Gina Carano has a lizard brain and once again shows us why she shouldn't be allowed around other human beings. Like, wow, okay. So anyway, these kinds of people, the kind of people I'm talking about, the regressive left, the social justice warriors, they came out in arms. Hashtag Fire Gina Carano started. Actually, I don't know if it started then or before, because there was a vendetta against her for quite a while. She'd gotten in trouble a few times by the SJWs. There was a previous tweet with a picture of, once again using Nazi Germany as a reference, a picture of a group of Nazis doing the Nazi salute, and one person highlighted who was refusing to salute. and these people were like, you could literally use any other photo that doesn't have Nazis in it to make your point. But I mean, totally missing the point. Totally missing the point. As if you can't ever refer to Nazi Germany, which is insane. I mean, real life once again imitates satire. These people have they really have no sense of, you know, being aware of history, so as to not repeat it. Also, you know, with this most recent tweet, making Gina Carano's point better than she ever could have, exemplifying division, just completely destroying someone's livelihood because they said something that they don't understand, they don't get, you know, contradicts their beliefs or their understanding. Laughable. Anyway, I went online and I started asking, you know, social media, and started asking people, why was Gina Carano fired? Can someone please explain to me exactly what was wrong with what she said? And nobody could. I don't know if anyone has tried to. I certainly couldn't find anyone who was willing to try to. Well, there was one guy I interacted with who wasn't, you know, he seemed quite logical. And at first he apparently didn't understand the question, because he's like, oh, well, you know, apparently she is because she referenced Nazi Germany or blah, blah, blah. He basically just parroted the headlines. And I said, yeah, no, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you can actually explain to me specifically what was wrong with what she said. Because her tweet, if you ask me, was entirely uncontroversial. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, she makes a really fucking good point. She makes a point that everyone should be aware of. Most of all, these people who destroyed her livelihood because of it. These people who think that if your opinion differs to theirs even a little bit, then you're a Nazi, you're alt-right. It's insane. I'm going to talk about that more in other videos. I'm going to leave that there for now. But that's basically it. I just wanted to put the feelers out, because these people, you know, they hit delete, they hit cancel on these prominent figures, basically destroy their lives. Gina Carano is probably not going to work again. I don't think she's going back to the UFC. You know, who knows if any other producers, networks, whatever, will ever touch her ever again. Disney being the biggest one on the planet, and she's done there. They hit delete, they hit cancel, and then they move on. They don't look back. They never look back. You know, if you're on social media and you try and engage with them, it's all laugh reacts. It's all just dismissive, egotistical, narcissistic bullshit. There's no logic, there's no reason behind it. They're headhunters, you know, and once they got that trophy, that's it. That's success for them. Dragging other people down is their way of propping themselves up. I mean, that's my take on it. But, you know, maybe someone has an explanation of what exactly was wrong with what she tweeted. A reason why this person's livelihood should be destroyed. Feel free to hit like, subscribe. Don't forget to tap that little notification bell, and I will see you again next time.